Have you really thought about the impact that you have or you might have on an individual's life? And I ask that because in our reading today, reading a portion of Second Chronicles again, if you've been reading along, we've already read this story about this young boy who becomes king and makes some radical changes. But I love what the chronicler, the individual who wrote Chronicles, says at this point about the impact that's being had in Second Chronicles chapter 24, telling this again the story of this young king and the radical changes. But the chronicler, the writer of Chronicles, focuses on the priest, and to me that's really incredible because he's focusing on the one who has a great impact. In fact, he even talks about his death, that he lived a long life, 130 years old, and he did some great things. And he was such an incredible priest that he was actually buried with the kings. How amazing is that to think about? That's this impact this individual had. But then after this individual passed away, this priest Jehoiada, after he passes away, it says the princes of Judah come to the king and convince him to abandon that which he had learned. It really impacted me today as I was thinking about the younger generation that is coming after us. And some of you watching, they're listening right now. I know you're the younger generation, and we're going to complain about you for a second because that's what we do. We complain about this younger generation. I love you guys. Understand this is the words I'm hearing all the time. They're lazy, indecisive, right? They get offended super quickly, like you're offended now, right? There's all these things that we see about the younger generation, a concern about what's our future going to look like. Is America going to fall apart because of this younger generation? As they get older, they start taking over, and we can complain all we want to, or we can do what the priest did. And he took this younger generation and he said, hey, I'm going to be there and I'm going to help guide you. I'm going to help lead you. And shouldn't that be where we are, those of us of the older generation, a Gen Xer like myself, or from the MTV generation, or even the older you boomers, and some of you who might be watching are traditionalists, right? Shouldn't we, instead of complaining about the individuals, start actually impacting, start loving on them, start guiding them? Because let me just tell you one thing. The reason the generation below us is the way they are is because of how we raised them, whether we were their parents, right? We impacted their lives, how that worked. We did this to them. We train up a child in the way that they go. And when they're old, they're not going to depart from it. Well, guess what? We train them to be the way they are. Now let's train them to be something different. Those of us that are parents, those of us that have a chance to impact the younger generation, I'm talking about the elementary school kids, junior high school kids. What if we train them the way that they should go? What if instead of waiting for the school to teach them about economics, about how to cook, how to clean, right? Because that generation, again, you guys don't know how to do that stuff. How to balance the checkbook. What if instead of complaining the schools don't teach that, what if we started teaching it? What if we started to bring them back to church again and stop focusing on sports so highly, right? We complain all the time about sports being on Sunday, that the kids are playing sports on Sundays. What would happen? Listen to me. What would happen if every Christian parent that believes in the power, and that you should, if you're a Christian, believes in the power and the necessity of the church, decided on one Sunday and said, you know what? I'm never bringing my kid to play baseball or play football or softball or volleyball on a Sunday ever again. What would happen? I'll tell you what would happen. Those sports, because the power of the Christian people in America, those sports would stop having Sunday activities. Yeah, that's true. Think about it, right? What if we, as that older generation, what if we actually took the responsibility that has been given us, the power and authority that's been given us, and we actually do what we're supposed to be doing? What if we truly show them the way that they should go? Because guess what? They're just waiting for somebody to stop doing that And someone else, like these princes of Judah, are going to come behind the scenes, and they're going to radically try to change the future of those individuals. We have a chance. We have a choice, right? You and I, we can either complain about it, or we can actually do something about it. We can have an impact on their lives.